Umentri rangba ke jylla Conrad ki sangma ulai thu bahadu laispa khandai phundai klur tingka la pelut hakjing khon ya ka khlam covid kat khandai ladap ban siu arspa san pei klur bar ka barang sa ban siu da ka sarkar ka long sa shispa safu phra klur tingka habu jubab ya ka phang ye tai bla wanra du MLA ka Congress na maulai ba process di saukmi ha ka be dei pat ka jinglut jingstep pan ya khon ya ka khlam coronavirus naklang umentri rangba ula batai bnya ya ka jingpynlut jong ka sarkar katkom ka jingithu jong Conrad ka jingpynlut da ka health department ba kanthup da ka office jong ka directorate of health services pat ka national health mission ka long aspa nyukwei point r klur tingka revenue ba disaster management SDRF arfly point nyo klur tingka revenue and disaster management PM cares lai point san klur tingka nyo point sau klur la plut nakamta ka chief minister's relief fund khat sau point nyo klur da ka chief minister's special grant nakatnat labor department san phui klur mining and geology DMF la plut pra point knai klur community and rural development but urban affairs SRWP but SUWP ka jingpynlut ka long khat san point iwei klur bat ka urban affairs ka long lai point san klur tingka umentri rangba wai thu ba ka jingpynlut ka bakhambon ka long ha ka bai dei bat ki tiar banle ya test ka jingbu ya ki corona care centers ki ventilators ki jaka le quarantine da ka tanat ka ko kya ban thi ya ki tiar da ki ambulance ki dawai pan pungkhoi knyang ka jingrap pisa sha ki nong song snong basabar ka jylla bat ki balawan phai ka jingsi sha ki nong bala lingba ka building and other construction workers kinong bala sngi bat sha ka MLA scheme nakaliang MLA ka mausnram uba HM shangplyang habai shimenta banyatai halo kani kamat ula penpa wi ka jing bamhon halo ka jingpynlut jong ka sarkar hado pra point laiklur tanga ka banthi ya ka dawai sodium hypochlorite tang hau bna yayong bachmang ula dawa ba ka sarkar ka de banthung da ka special audit khnang ban benya ka jingkhen jingdia panlight na ka jingpynlut ksan haba pynshai shushu umentri rangba ulai thu ba shiklur la plut na kamta banthi dawai sodium hypochlorite kat ba ka jingkhen bala ai pra point laiklur ka dei bla kanthup lang bar ka jingpynlut ha ka por percent dawai ha ka linti ki singken ki hospital ki jakasa bat kumjo ki bailek ki baiwan haba jubab ru ya ka jingkali ka blabu du MLA ka Congress na umroi ba George B Lingdo ulapu ya ke jingkali ya ke jingpynlut jong ke industries department ka belong laiklur ban penpo ya ki mas lane ban supply ya ki mas u Conrad ulong ba ke jingpynlut ya ke te ke pisa da ka tanat ka long da ka bathi di ki mas na ki self help group ne SHG ki badon hapoh ke jylla.
So this is not the end of this pandemic, and even then that we pray to God that God will do a miracle in his way that soon that this pandemic it will die down, it will go away, and also that normal again will come back, and people and also all of us we can go the walk and do the thing like we have done before. So the second to that, sir, the government have tried the best at the beginning when you give the detail of the expenditure to the fourth pillar of democracy. So now talking about the fourth pillar of democracy, government have given his expenditure to the press, so that people will knew that this is the amount that we have been spent for the last 7 months for the fight of the COVID-19. So this is the proper forum. So this is the forum that we have to deal for the issue of the state. So the government have already been given of the amount of 399 crore or 400 crore for the spending of for the 7 months of the need of the fight of the COVID-19. So it is a proper that as members of the House and also the members of the August House and people of the state. So the government have already given the amount of 399 crore, 400 crore, or maybe more than that. I feel that it will be proper if the government give for the detailed expenditure and break up in the district-wise. So we have 11 districts in the state. So it will be proper, will look nice if the government can give a breakup of district-wise regarding of the expenditure. I've also gone through about the state of Assam, Maharashtra, and some of the states have given the expenditure in detail and breakup-wise. And I might like to get the information from the government too, that if government give a district-wise breakup, that is this expenditure, so that we can remove the doubt, we can remove that people will think otherwise regarding the expenditure. So it is a fact that we have already seen that for the last 7 months, we have seen that vehicle applying, we have seen that the government are buying this, buying that, we have seen the public announcement, and many things that have already been done. But we understand once the thing have been, when we have seen that the government are working, everything have to pay. So because of that reasons, I would like to get the information from the government, if district-wise, like we have the East Khasi, I would like to get information that district-wise, the East Khasi, West Khasi Hills, East Garo Hills, West Garo Hills, West Jaintia Hills, Ribhoi, South Garo Hills, North Garo Hills, East Jaintia Hill, Southwest Khasi Hill, Southwest Garo Hills, regarding with the incurred of the expenditure by the government. Further, because of many of the items which have been spent by the government. First of all, sir, number one, what is the total number of quarantine centers run by the government? The quarantine center. Because here we have two parts of the quarantine center. One is a quarantine center run by the government. Another quarantine center run by the community or by the Nokma. That's why I would like to get the total number of quarantine centers run by the government, run by the community, and also by Nokma. Then we have also, sir, we have already seen that the government that have already been hired, they have already been hired about the hotel, guest house for the purpose of quarantine. We would like to get the information, sir, from the government that how many hotel have been hired, guest house or paying guests and others that the government have hired, and if it is possible, if they can give the name of the hotel or the paying guest or the guest house, it would be nice and proper that people of the state will know about the government hired of even the hotel.
Sir, these are the reasons that we see such a huge expenditures of 400 crores coming in. Unwanted expenditures, unmeasured. So there are many expenditures taken up by the NHM which are not COVID related. Not COVID related at all. I wish the government decides to send a special audit. I demand that the special audit be conducted for all these unwanted expenditures. What are these unwanted expenditures? Renovation of the office, purchase of furnitures at very high costs, purchase of televisions, sets. I feel we should refrain from such wasteful expenditures. We appreciate the government doing its job. While the government is containing its best, like I appreciated earlier, in handling this whole COVID situation, it had been praised that at one point of time we had the most minimum cases in the whole country, but suddenly these kind of wasteful expenditures really tarnishes the image of the government and of all the hard labor that the Chief Minister has put in. I appreciate the Chief Minister's Relief Fund for having been meaningfully used. Ambulances have been purchased out of this fund. Food for the people under quarantine has been supplied out of this fund. These are the ways that we need to spend the money. We would not mind. It could be 400 crores, it could be 500 crores, but as long as the expenditures are related to COVID and are justifiable, we will not mind to do that. But sir, I must bring it to the notice of this august House. The NHM has been appointing people left, right, center. Is the minister aware about it? Is the Chief Minister aware about it? People from outside the state have also found a place in the appointment. Who is the authority? Who is the final authority to appoint these people? That's my question today. Is there any process of recruitment? Has any advertisement been floated? Has any interview been conducted or any test been conducted? These people have just come from back doors. We cannot allow these kind of things happening in the state. When our own people do not get employment, how people from outside the state are getting employment here? So, sir, these are the few issues that I had to say, and before I resume my seat, sir, my last point is, many local suppliers are awaiting their bills to be paid by the department. They are small-time suppliers. They are awaiting their bills for months together for being paid. My question is, when you have spent 400 crores of rupees, how these small bills have not been paid? Small bills of few lakhs of rupees have not been paid to these local suppliers. So where has this money gone then? To whom have you paid? I request the government to kindly do justice to everybody. We are not here to say, pay to Mr. A, pay to Mr. B, but kindly do justice. When you are paying to suppliers from outside the state, why are you not paying to the suppliers from the state? Please do that justice. And sir, lastly, we understand that the pandemic is here to stay. We would request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly dedicate a particular fund, dedicate a particular head of account for expenditures. We cannot allow any expenditures just coming like that and then you regularize it in the form of supplementary demand in the floor of the House. We have seen today there are more supplementary demands coming immediately after this short duration is over. Supplementary demands have been asked. One amount is for 7 crores, one amount is for 400 crores, and so on. Therefore, sir, Chief Minister, sir, my request is kindly dedicate a particular fund because this pandemic will remain. So we shall see how we have to, in case the expenditure exceeds, that's the only time the department can come to the floor of the House for supplementary demand. On that note, sir, I resume my seat. Thank you very much, sir.
So we are all aware that even the most developed countries and some of the more developed states of India have found it extremely difficult to counter the challenges posed by the onset of the pandemic. However, our government rose to the occasion and faced the challenges head-on. Till the month of June, we were the state with the lowest number of COVID cases. Since then, we have consistently been among the states with the lowest number of cases. The state made a conscious decision to provide the best possible care and support to citizens during these unprecedented times. Despite the falling tax collections and the shortage of resources, we have prioritized the fight against COVID and invested resources in a timely manner. Since March, we have ramped up our RT-PCR, TrueNat, CBNat testing capacity per day from 30 to now over 2,000. As of date, we have conducted over 2.14 lakh tests and are among the top states when it comes to the number of tests conducted per million of population. At a mortality rate of 0.9%, we are also among the very few states that have a mortality rate of less than 1%. In the last 7 months, we improved health infrastructure, provided generous relief to the most disadvantaged section of the society, made funds available to our honorable MLAs so they can take up relief work in their respective areas, and provided the best corona care facilities. In these extraordinary times of the pandemic, we rose to the occasion and did the things that every responsive government has to do: prioritized the lives, health, and well-being of all the citizens affected by COVID and of those whose lives have been disrupted by the lockdown. So all these interventions need investment of financial resources and has already been disclosed in the public domain. The state has spent 399 crores on the various health and non-health related aspects of management of COVID. This expenditure was made by the various departments of the government as follows. The Health Department, including Directorate of Health Services and NHM, number 1, 271.2 crores. Revenue and Disaster Management, SDRF Fund, 23.7 crores. Revenue and Disaster PM Care, 3.5 crores. Chief Minister's Relief Fund, 7.4 crores. CM Special Grant, 14.7 crores. Mining and Geology DMF, 8.9 crores. Labor Department, 51 crore. Community and Rural Development and Urban Affairs, SRWP, SUWP, 15.1 crore. Urban Affairs, 3.5 crores, total of 399. Out of the 399 crores of expenditure, bills have been paid of 251 crores, and the pending liability are 148 crores. The government has tapped into various sources to make the COVID expenditure in addition to the state government's own resources. The following are the various sources of funds in addition to states' own sources. Number 1, National Health Mission, 43.4 crores. Number 2, State Disaster Response Fund, 23.7 crores. Number 3, Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations Fund, 3.5 crores. Chief Minister's Relief Fund, 7.4 crores. District Mineral Foundation Fund, 8.9 crores. Meghalaya Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Fund, 12.9 crores. Northeast Council, 3 crores. Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme, 1 crore. Total 103.8 crores. So I will now focus on some of the key items of expenditure and explain the rationale for making the expenses. Testing. Sir, I would like to inform you and the House that the state had to be dependent on Negrams for COVID-19 testing, and they were limited to 30 tests per day during the beginning of the pandemic. As of today, we have conducted over 2.14 lakh tests. Since the inception of the statehood, we have not had a single biosafety level 2 category lab in the state, which is required for testing viruses like COVID-19. So with a lot of pride, I would like to mention that in a span of 2 months, the state had established 2 such BSL-2 labs in Tura Civil Hospital and Pasteur Institute, Shillong. These facilities have conducted more than 52,804 RT-PCR tests so far and continue to do more. These facilities will stay beyond COVID-19, and the state will pursue to get them converted into biosafety level 3. As I had mentioned even yesterday in the House, the state is determined to not lose the opportunity this crisis has given to improve the health system. Testing has been established in all 11 districts of the state and Mairang subdivision. The state government has also assisted the private hospitals in setting up the testing centers so that the citizens may benefit, and the hospitals are also equipped to handle any such crisis. Sir, I would like to mention that the state, since the beginning, had supported Negrams more than once. Following are some of the items that were provided to them. RNA isolation kit, 32,500 numbers. Rapid antigen test kits, 4,400 numbers. RT-PCR detection kits, 3,000 numbers. PPEs and N95 masks as well have been provided. In order to promote access to masks and encourage the habit of wearing masks for all, various initiatives to provide free masks were taken by the state. These are reusable and cloth masks that are suitable to the environment as well. With the rise in the number of positive cases in the state government took a decision to conduct random sampling in high-risk areas such as marketplaces, containment zones, etc., to understand whether community spread had taken place. In order to do this smoothly, over 75 rapid response teams were created in the state. The recruitment for these units were done at the district level, and 407 health and related workers have been employed in these teams. They also help in managing the containment zones in their respective areas. Large number of additional manpower was also recruited for managing the testing, various other support activities at hospitals and other health facilities. The total expenditure on contractual and human resource is about 15 crores, and on testing, including lab and surveillance, is 38.9 crores. The Corona Care Centers. In order to strengthen our quarantine and isolation facilities, which was absolutely the only way initially known to stop the infection, Corona Care Centers were created in each of the districts. In total, we had up to 25 Corona Care Centers with a bed capacity of 1,205. I would like to again mention clearly to the House that these were set up apart from those already in place at hospitals. These Corona Care Centers were set up in record time. IIM Umsauli, with a bed capacity of 201 beds, was the largest center during the time of inauguration in the Northeast region. There were no other such facilities with individual toilets for every occupant anywhere else. We have so far quarantined or isolated over 25,000 persons across the state. Each person, if under quarantine, would have stayed on an average for 2 to 3 days, and if isolated, would have occupied for 14 days. All these expenses were borne by the state. These Corona Care Centers are exclusively manned by over 916 persons round the clock, not to mention the doctors who are deputed from other facilities. There was a significant cost to the setting up of the CCCs and operating the same. An amount of 30.8 crores was spent on setting up and management of the Corona Care Centers. Isolation facilities and hospitals. Honorable Sir, apart from the 1,205 beds in the Corona Care Centers, there are about 601 dedicated isolated beds functional in 20 major hospitals across the state. These beds are exclusively from the beds that have been kept ready at CHCs and PHCs. Over 2,365 patients have been treated in these hospitals so far. The state is in the progress of setting up ICUs in Resubelpara, Mokurwat, Bakmara, Pulbari, and Tura MCH to fill in the gaps. The invisibility and high transmissibility rate of the virus was a source of concern. There was a need to build health systems in order to deal with any impending surge. Before the pandemic, the entire state had only 4 ventilators, which have now increased to more than 200 ventilators, 75 of which have been installed and are ready. Quarantine facilities for health workers. Sir, as you're aware, our healthcare workers, including doctors and nurses, have been on the front line to help us fight COVID-19, putting their own lives at risk. To ensure proper quarantine facilities, various hotels and guest houses were requisitioned to suffice the requirement. Accordingly, an amount of rupees 2.67 crores has been paid to various hotels and guest houses. This also helped these hotels and guest houses to meet their committed expenses and ensure the job of the employees. Various protective equipments. Speaker, sir, I am sure that the House would agree that most of us had not heard of PPE, known as personal protective equipment, or even the N95 masks. The state had very minimal stock of PPEs, and not to mention almost zero N95 masks. It is also imperative to understand that due to the nationwide lockdown, the logistics of such essential medical equipments was severely affected. This was the same situation across the states, and Meghalaya was no exception. There were several unfortunate protests by the healthcare workers at hospitals in major states demanding for adequate such protective equipments, personal equipments. But due to our early procurement measures, we never faced any such shortage, thanks to the union government, which had relaxed the procurement norms for speedy procurements. The logistics had eased only after special cargo flights were arranged by the union government in collaboration with the Air Force and other flight operators. The state was in a condition to prepare during this period to face a situation that was coming. For decentralization of processes, health infrastructure at the district level were also ramped up, where testing facilities were also made available in various districts of the state. District hospitals were also provided with oxygen cylinders, ventilators, and other related equipments to meet the requirement of COVID treatment. Sir, I wish to place on record that the state was so well equipped that we were in a position to share 500 viral transport medias to the state of Assam during their surge in cases in Guwahati. We were also thankful to Assam for helping us during the initial phases of testing.